It's fibre, and is it essential for the human health? Hey everyone, Carl here from the Primal Lifestyle. Now, before we get into my research and my findings, just want to remind the people that the Great British Meetup is coming up on the 2nd of August with impressive speakers attending. I will put a link below with more information for those interested in what will be a formidable day. Now, firstly, I want to be transparent and share the bit of my own story so you can understand the angle that I'm coming from. I've been following the carnivore way of eating for almost 2 years. This is my 98th week. At first, I was incredibly determined and focused on this way of eating, but now I'm not what you call a strict carnivore. Occasionally have some non-carnivore carbs, so I would say I'm about 95% carnivore. But I'm at a stage now where I'm maintaining, not correcting, as I've been quite successful. I've lost 66 pounds, which is approximately 30 kilos. I've dropped my blood pressure back down to the normal healthy range. I've reversed my risk of diabetes, and I've even said goodbye to a host of inflammatory issues. That's including my feet shrinking. So when people say you need fibre to be healthy, I cannot help but ask, do you really? Because I'm living proof that maybe you don't. Let us start with the mainstream view. For decades, we've been told that fibre is essential for digestion, for preventing colon cancer, for feeding our gut microbes. Most guidelines recommend 25 to 30 grams of fibre per day. This is based on the idea that fibre bulks up your stools, keeps us regular, and lowers cholesterol and improves blood sugar. Sounds solid, right? I think it's important at first to understand how does fibre work in the human digestive system. Fibre comes in two main types, soluble and insoluble. Soluble fibre dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance in the gut. It slows digestion, helps to stabilise the blood sugars, and is fermented by gut bacteria in the colon to produce short-chain fatty acids. Insoluble fibre, on the other hand, does not dissolve. It adds to bulk in the stool, and it speeds up the passage of food through the intestines. Think of it like a broom sweeping your colon. But here's the catch. Fibre is not digested or absorbed by the body. It passes through intact, and its benefits depend heavily on what else you're eating. On a high carb, or what is known as the Western diet, with processed foods, fibre can help manage blood sugar spikes, reduce inflammation in the gut. But if you're eating an animal-based diet that is low in carbohydrates, you are not creating the same digestive stress. That means you do not need fibre to fix what is not broken. Well, here is the thing. Fibre is not an essential nutrient. Your body does not need it to survive. There is no deficiency disease linked to fibre like there is, for example, vitamin C or iron. You could eat 0 grams of fibre, and provided your diet is well constructed, be perfectly fine. This is exactly what the growing number of people on the carnivore diet or keto paleo diets are doing. Let us look at this from an evolutionary point of view. Human beings have evolved eating primary animal-based diets. Our digestive system is not built like a herbivore. We do not have massive fermentation chambers for digesting plants. Instead, we have a high stomach acidity. To break down the meat quickly to kill bacteria. Our ancestors survived harsh environments where fruits and vegetables were seasonal or non-existent. They thrived on meat, fat, which brings us back to fibre. Here's where things get interesting. A lot of research that backs the high fibre diets has been sponsored by companies like Kellogg's. Yes, the big cereal giants. The very people selling you high fibre breakfast products are also funding the studies telling you how essential fibre is. That is not science, that is marketing. There is a serious conflict of interest in the food and health industry, and fibre is no exception. Just look what's going on in America at the moment with Robert Kennedy Jr. He's pulling apart their health and their big pharma and big food producers because of the conflicts of interest they're caused. I'm not saying that fibre is evil. If you're eating a high carb standard Western diet, that might help mitigate some of the damages that diet's causing. But what I am saying is that when you are eating clean, nutrition dense animal foods, the need for fibre drops off drastically. Take this for example. There's clinical study where people with chronic constipation stopped eating fibre entirely and their symptoms improved. In fact, their bowel movements became more regular, their bloating disappeared, and straining just went away. Another study out of the Harvard surveyed over 2,000 carnivore diet followers. 95% reported health improvements. Most had no digestive issues despite eating zero fibre. Many had fewer problems than before. Dr. Paul Mason regularly points to the zero fibre constipation study to show that the more fibre is not always better. Dr. Ken Berry is on record of saying that fibre is not necessary and can make some gut problems worse. And then there's Professor Tim Noakes, a former high carb advocate, now saying that humans have no essential requirements for carbohydrates or fibre. And then there's people like the Kent Carnivore, his real name is Lee Copus, who suffered from severe ulcerative colitis. Following conventional advice, he loaded up on fibre-rich foods, hoping to heal his gut. Unfortunately, it made things dramatically worse. His condition deteriorated so badly that he had to undergo emergency surgery, resulting in the removal of his colon. Today, he lives with a colostomy bag. This is where it gets interesting. Post-surgery, Lee turned to the carnivore diet, cutting out all plant and food fibre. To his surprise, not only did the remaining digestive system handle meat perfectly well, but he also gained invaluable insight into how different foods are affected in digestion. With a direct view into how his body processes foods through his bag, he saw firsthand that meat digested cleanly and effectively, while plant matter left a vastly different footprint. Lee now runs a fantastic YouTube channel called The Kent Carnivore, where he shares his journeys and breaks down the myths around fibre and gut health. His story is a powerful reminder that for some, fibre does not just fail to help, it can actively make things worse. And in those cases, meat might just be the most healing food of all. The reality is that meat and fat are fully absorbed by the small intestine. There is barely any waste. When you eat this way, your body produces small, infrequent, but normal bowel movements. You are not constipated, you just do not need to poop as much because your food is being used and absorbed by your body. So, is fibre essential? Not if you're eating the right foods, not if you're fueling your body with meat, fat, eggs and organs. The carnivore way of eating has changed my life. I'm healthier, lighter, stronger and clearer minded than I have ever been in years. and I did not do it by counting fibre grams. Do not just take my word for it. Look into the research, listen to the experts, and try it for yourself. You might just find that the whole fibre thing was a myth all along. Thank you for watching. If this has challenged some of what you've been told, feel free to leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. Do not forget to like or subscribe and share this with anyone you think it needs to hear it. Until next time, stay primal.